What's good, everybody? Welcome to Off the Clock with Trey and KJ. Once again, thank you for tuning in with us. We got some great stuff for you today. A lot of sports stuff because a lot of stuff happened in the sports world this week. But we will get it rolling. Trey, what's good with you, fam?
Not much, man. Just chilling. Obviously, work and just some school stuff that need to be taken care of. As far as me doing some assignments and with the church this morning.
Yeah,
that's pretty much it. What about you?
Man, I was a little under the weather this week. Kind of kept it under wraps, pushed through, and I'm just slowly getting on the other side of it. So I have a lot more energy today. I just woke up not too long ago. I think my body's starting to recover, but we are getting there. We are getting there, bro. But yeah, it's been a good week. It's going to be even better week. For this to be a 4-day week because it was Martin Luther King week, it seemed to be a long week. I don't know about you, bro. I don't know. This is probably one of the longest weeks I done had. I mean, it's only been 3 weeks of the year, but this is probably the longest week I done had in a while, bro. Even though it was 4 days long. Like, talk to me about that. Was it a long week for you too, or was it a short week for you? Talk to me.
Honestly, man, I feel like my weeks are always long. No matter how short, like they may feel. I just feel like it's always something that I could be doing, or when I'm not doing something, I feel like I should be. So, like it's kind of like up in the air, like in a sense, but I feel like my weeks are always long. And they start on Monday and then the days just get to flying. It's like, dang, it was just Monday. Now it's Thursday. So.
And it's gonna be another 4-day week for me too, because I won't be at work tomorrow. I got jury duty.
Oh, I've never been in one of those.
Man, I am not looking forward to it. I'm gonna do everything in my power to get. I'm wearing my work ID. I might wear a pair of sweats up there just to see. Bro, I am not ready for that. I just hope that I don't get picked. I went ahead and took off work anyway, so we'll see tomorrow.
And you definitely got to talk to us about that next week.
Yeah. All right, man. So let's get into it, bro. So a lot of stuff happened this week. One thing that caught my eye, and I kind of sent it to you early on this week. I don't know if it was last Monday or Tuesday, but I'm always watching my girls at LSU. My homegirl Kim Mulkey, and so we kind of mentioned who Angel Reese was, but who did they play this past week? They had played Arkansas this past week. I believe it was Monday. And they just turned up the PMAC Center. Like, they just turned it up. The students, the band, the cheerleaders, they turned it up, and they played with a different type of energy. And so Angel Reese, in this game, late in the game, they were on defense. In the second half, she had lost her shoe, picked up her shoe in mid-possession. And once she picked up her shoe, took a step over and blocked the shot, sent the ball out of bounds, stared the girl down, said something to her, and got a technical foul for it. And then and went over and tweeted after the game because, in that moment, if you ever hoop, you get a block like that, you stare somebody down, you're going to talk your trash, right? Yeah. And you get, she got a technical foul for it. And she tweeted this. She said, "I'm too hood, I'm too ghetto, I don't fit the narrative, and I'm okay with that. I'm from Baltimore, where you hoop outside and talk trash. If it was a boy, y'all wouldn't be saying nothing at all. Let's normalize women showing passion for the game instead of it being embarrassing." Trey, talk to me, bro. How do you feel about that? We both coached women's basketball before, and we both understand. So talk to me about that.
Honestly, man, I feel like, women, it's just the norm, like women can't, talk trash, or, they can't, do the stuff that men do. But, men and women both play with emotion, right? And, just seeing, like a female doing that, people, fans tend to take it differently. But, like especially on the, like opposing team side, right?
Yeah.
And, it's just a lot of trolls, behind these screens, calling her a thug, calling her ghetto and this and that. And that's not the case. It's just her playing with emotion. And that's anybody. Like if anybody get a block like that, like they talking smack. Like the pros do it. Like Brittany Griner has done it, back when she was in the league before her arrest, like women do it, but it's just a matter of, just fans, of the opposite team just mad, like that their team is losing and lost the game, and that's where all the hatred like and stuff come in. As far as the technical foul, she should have got teed up. I mean, you literally stepped over her and you talk smack. So the technical foul, like that's out the equation. But as far as her showing emotion, should she get praised for it? Should you get praised for talking smack and stepping over a player? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Like I'm kind of like on both sides, but like she mentioned, like if it was a guy, especially like it's rivalry games, like it's personal. You know what I'm saying? Like Kansas versus K-State 3 years ago, it was a brawl. You know what I'm saying? So, and there was a lot of emotion shown that game.
We were in Corpus Christi getting ready to play A&M Corpus, and it just like blew up the whole internet.
Yeah,
we had a friend at the time working at Kansas, and was right there when it happened.
Funny thing is, one of the main guys who was like fighting, I think he was on K-State at the time.
Yeah.
He ended up transferring to Eastern that next season. And I always seen him around, and I wanted to ask him like, yo, so like how how was it being the center of attention, and that big brawl?
Right. Broke the internet for a week.
Yeah, and I never asked him, like about it, but I was just curious, like, I wonder, would he talk about it or whatnot? But it was in the past, I didn't want to bring up nothing that it's old school, but yeah, crazy story, crazy fight, crazy brawl.
Yeah, but here's what I feel on the Angel Reese LSU situation. I feel like it's a double standard on women's sports to where they can't show as much emotion because they seem as emotional. They seem, it's kind of like having a black woman coach. When you show that emotion, you get labeled as the angry black woman. Same, and so with females that play women's basketball, you get seen as this thug, as this ghetto type player because you showing a bit of emotion. But truth be told, those things happen all the time, and I honestly feel like it would not have been an issue if it wasn't Angel Reese and she did not play for a Kim Mulkey basketball team. Because, Kim, she Coach Mulkey, she's going to say what she has to say and keep it pushing, and so her teams are going to play like that. And so that's how I feel. Coaching girls basketball, we teach our girls to be real disciplined, and we expect that. However, we teach them to also walk with a certain swagger about themselves and a certain confidence about themselves, because that's what happens when you're passionate about it. And it's been the same for us all season. Our girl makes a good play. She walks down the court clapping. She gets warned. My girl makes an and one. She, does her little thing. She gets teed up or warned. I go in and high five my player, go down the sideline, high five my player for making a good defensive play, and I get teed up because I'm quote unquote out of my box. It's really about what I said though, but we're not gonna go into that. But that's the stigma that has been put on women's sports. Working in a Division I men's atmosphere, you hear everything at all times on that court. And I specifically remember an instance. It was my first year at Lamar. We were playing at SFA and we were beating them by 20. And excuse my language here, in the next few seconds. Our guy goes up to for a layup. SFA dude comes and blocks it and says, "Give me that shit." Language, bro. 19 years old at the time, thinking, oh yeah, he's gonna get teed up. I'm like, I tell the official, I was like, hey Matthew, the official name was Matthew. Hey Matthew, that's a technical foul, huh? He was like, man, we're grown men. And I was like, he right. But then a few games earlier, we were at McNeese, we were sitting, it was me, Andrew, and Chris. Guy shoots a 3-pointer. Andrew says, H no. The guy makes it. The guy turns around, looks at Andrew, stares down our bench, gets a technical foul. So honestly, I feel like men's sports are favored in that sense, but I also think it depends on the officiating crew as well. Because if you have, I promise you, if Angel Reese and Kim Mulkey were in the Big 12, she would not have gotten teed up because of the respect that Kim Mulkey had from the Big 12 officials. SEC is a whole different ballgame. Those officials don't care. Those teams don't care. It's a whole different, league. And the level of play also is heightened as well. So I think it all depends on who's playing, who's officiating, the flow of the game, because the flow was the game was already high emotion. It was a one possession game the whole time. And so I think it just all depends on the course of the game. But in more instances, do you see women's basketball getting called out and quote unquote held accountable because of their emotion towards the game?
Yeah, I think you hit all the key points, like you said. They are held to like a different standard. Can't really show much emotion versus in men games. You know what I'm saying? You hear those kind of sayings, give me that and all this other stuff. Like in men games all the times, and men won't get teed up for that. But women said it's a different ball game. So I totally agree with all the facts that you said. I mean, because I've been at both games, like a men game and a women game, and I've seen both get teed up. More so, women can get teed up easier than a guy would. So, yeah, it's a tough situation for Angel, but you know what I'm saying. She doing her thing.
She a dog. She a dog for real. Like I love watching her play. She got it. Like they hit the jackpot when they recruited her over to LSU, especially bringing her from Maryland.
Yeah. Totally agree, man. But let's get into the Tee Morant and Shannon Sharpe situation. So, what's your thoughts on that? What even happened? Like, I don't know. I just seen the video and I don't know, but no more.
It was so random and unexpected to me. I was not thinking that was gonna be the headline for the night. I don't even know what day would happen. All I remember hearing or reading was Uncle Shannon Sharpe had said somebody couldn't guard LeBron, and I don't know. From there, they were going back and forth, and Steven Adams was in the middle. Then you had Tee Morant, which is Ja Morant's dad, coming out of nowhere, looking like Usher. And then you had Ja Morant, kind of in the background, just kind of, yeah. Really not saying anything, but just instigating what's going on. But what's funny? Nobody moved Shannon Sharpe. Nobody knew to approach Shannon Sharpe and do anything. That's a big dude. That's a strong dude. He grew up on a farm, used to run outside barefoot and all of that. Like that's country strong. That ain't just weight room strong. And if I had to guess, Shannon Sharpe may have had, sitting courtside of the NBA game, he had to have some in his cup you know, can we just keep it a band, bro? Like, that's just what it is. And so, can I read you what he had said to Dave McNamara in response to the situation, bro?
Go for it, because I was just reading it.
And just try to imagine this in how Shannon Sharpe would talk. They didn't want this smoke, Dave. They do all that talking and jockeying about, and I ain't about all that jockeying. It started with Dylan Brooks. He said I was too small to guard LeBron. He said, F me. I said, F you back. He started to come at me, and I said, you don't want these problems. And Ja came out of nowhere talking. He definitely didn't want these problems. Then the dad came, and he obviously didn't want no problem. Nobody wanted problems. But I wanted everything that they had. Don't let these fools fool you now. Spoken like a true Southern country guy. They don't want these problems. Don't let them fool you. Don't get it twisted. Talk to me, bro.
Yeah, man. Just reading that and like just watching the video, I don't think that would have ended the way that these guys maybe had wanted it to. I mean, Shannon, that's a grown man, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hall of Famer in the NFL. I mean, big dude. I mean, Dylan Brooks can't stand a chance. Ja and T definitely can't. But you know, Shannon and
they both the same size as me.
And Shannon and LeBron got that relationship where, you know, anything that LeBron do, Shannon go praise him, you know what I'm saying? Even if it's negative stuff, you know, like in the media, like he always go be on the opposite side. But they just bond and click so well. So you know, for him to say that Brooks couldn't guard him, he was probably telling the truth. But you know, some stuff, you know, like in the moment, I don't even know like the score or the possession like of the game or who even won a game, but you know, some stuff like in the moment where it's like a tight situation or anything like that, like something like that can trigger somebody, right? Right. One of the like most triggering words,
right?
In 2023 is the word weird.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate being called weird. Is like, how am I weird? Like, what am I doing that's weird? Because I don't think I'm weird, but
right.
Those are just fighting words, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, like in the moment, if I'm a player and I'm guarding LeBron, like I wouldn't want to hear that from a fan. But then again, right. Not everybody can tune out noise. You know what I'm saying? So,
and it wouldn't have been so bad because, to be honest, let's be for real. I don't know too many people that can guard LeBron straight up 1-on-1, like without help defense or anything. Like that's just a dude. But it wouldn't have been. It would not have been as bad if, I guess, Dylan Brooks wouldn't have called him a blogger or like a regular. I think he said something along the lines that he's like a regular and he's a blogger. And like, that's distasteful, especially since Tee Morant and Shannon Sharpe had squashed it literally the next media timeout. Was it the next media timeout or the next possession, whatever. They was hugging and everything. Like, but bro, the best thing that's come out of this situation. So I'm sure you've seen this picture, bro. I'm sure you've seen this picture. And I'm sure you've seen like people are like, name this album. Have you seen that? People say name this album. First of all, this is $3,000 cardigan that Shannon Sharpe has on. I don't think anybody was gonna mess with him. That wasn't a problem. But have you seen like the album names that these people have been given this?
I have not. I haven't been on Facebook,
So somebody gave the album name No Skips. No Skips. And then under that, name 9 tracks on the album, bro. I'm gonna read them off to you. No skips, with the whole parental advisory deal at the bottom too. It said track number 1, I Wish I Might. Track number 2, Club Shay Shay. Track number 3, Goat James. Track number 4, I love it. Do something before two something. Track number 5, he stinks. Tom Brady diss. Track number 6, this undisputed. Somebody said that should be a skip diss. Track number 7, I bet you won't. Grizzlies diss. Track number 8, that ain't no problem. Track number 9, Hall of Fame, bro. I've been dying, bro. I've been dying at these, bro, because it is so true. And I sent it to y'all the other day. The pictures that came out looks like Shannon Sharpe was an angry coach that just got a technical foul. The way he was looking and the way he had reacted to all of that.
He wasn't even worried, bro.
He wasn't worried at all.
He wasn't worried at all. He was ready for the smoke. He probably been waiting on this moment, especially with the whole thing with Skip. He been waiting on somebody to try him.
Wait on somebody to, hey, it's all right. Shannon Sharpe, hey, just know that man has my full support. I don't care what he do, bro. And he has my full support. I look, that's my guy. He ain't never said anything wrong. Never said anything wrong. That's OG for real. Go ahead, bro. We gotta move, dog. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, so you mentioned that you watched the Temple versus Houston game, and you know, being the number 1 team in the country, that's either a good thing or a bad thing. You know, because you don't stay number 1 for long. You know
right.
And so, what was your thoughts on the game, and you know, how did it turn out?
I watched that game possession by possession, bro, and I love the University of Houston. I'm a huge supporter of their men's and women's basketball teams. I'm a huge supporter of both their coaches. Houston could not get anything going offensively. They could not. There was a lot of breakdowns, a lot of one-on-one basketball, a lot of ISO, and they just weren't getting the looks that they normally look. Temple played a great defensive game. You know, I'm sure Noah is over there going crazy somewhere on the East Coast because Temple played a great defensive game. And they played in Houston. And so, of course, when you play the number 1 team in the country, you play with a different type of energy. We were fortunate enough when we were at Lamar. We played Kentucky when they had just lost their number 1 seed to Evansville. And we were their second game after they played Evansville and lost that game to Evansville. So we understand the pressure and the energy going into a game like that. Temple, basically, this is what they did. Houston likes to trap. So they invited the pressure. They invited the trap, and you can tell they worked this in practice. They played through the trap. They would successfully, get out of the trap. Their guards were good. They would hit a baseline drift pass, boom, hit the extra pass, and basically shot the lights out that gym. And if it wasn't a shot, it was a drive off the rim, and Houston just couldn't guard it all night. They just invited the trap. They played out of the trap, played through the trap. They wanted Houston to trap because that's the type of person that Houston does. So they played out of the trap. They brought the trap and basically drew the help defense to kick out for open shots. And if the shot wasn't open, they'll look inside for the big. Now, Houston rebounded. The mess out the ball. And when you look at Temple had a lot of clappable misses, meaning misses that weren't bad shots, that were open looks and that they were really good looks that they just didn't convert. But when in terms of Houston played great defense because they held Temple to no field goals in the last 7 minutes of the ball game. It was only free throws. And Temple basically only missed 2 free throws, while Houston missed probably about a good 10 or 12. And down the stretch, that hurt them. But when Houston held Temple to 0 field goals in the last 7 minutes of the ball game, and Houston still couldn't score off on the offensive end of the floor, that's either a testament on Temple's defense or Houston's offense didn't flow the way it was supposed to flow today. And so just looking at that game, they were out of sorts from the beginning, from the tip-off to the moment the final buzzer rang, and then had an open look for the game winner, but missed the layup. And so I think Temple came in, and from start to finish, the score was 30-30 at halftime. The end of the game was 56-55. So they scored the same amount in the first half. Second half, Temple outscored them by 1 point. 1 point. So it was a back and forth ball game the whole day, but ultimately in the moments that mattered, Temple converted and Houston could not. So when that surprised me because Temple had lost their last two before this game because they hadn't been playing well. So they come to Houston in one of the hardest places to play in one of the toughest teams in the country. Not just because they're the number one seed, because they're gonna get after you defense. They're gonna be physical, and they have guards that can go downhill, and they have big players. Their players are huge. At the end of the day, Temple just made better plays at better moments, and so that's just my take from the game, bro. I love University of Houston, but just offensively, they just did not find what they were looking for on the offensive end of the floor. Defensively, they look good. Offensively, they just couldn't put the ball in the hoop.
No, man, it's crazy how you literally like broke it down like by half, points and possession and all that. This honestly might be your calling, man. And the analyst, just memorizing, the games, everything throughout the game. But no, man, honestly, it probably came to like who's gonna be the tougher team, right?
Yeah. Hey, at the end of the day, look, the Coach Price said it this way: the tougher team is always gonna win. And in the moments, Temple was just a tougher team, bro. But hey, I watch every game like I'm scouting it, like I'm making a scouting report. And so I saw the trends and I saw the tendencies, and I was like, hey, Temple offense just flowed a lot better. They just basically beat Houston by allowing them to do what they do best, and that's apply pressure. And you can tell in practice they played off of playing out of the traps, playing out of the pressure, and creating some sort of offense from it to where they can catch Houston in a scrambling situation on the defensive end of the floor. So that's what it was, the whole game. And it was just consistent across the board.
I mean, that's tough. I know Noah probably is, and we're going crazy. Shout out to Noah. That's
my boy.
Temple, long man. Got his master's from there. There was a lot of great things that happened, in his 2 years there. There's some, talking to him a lot.
Hey man, that boy building his own program now.
Huh?
Building his own program now, bro.
Man, not to call that kid. I mean, not that kid, but I'm about to call my guy. And check it. Because if he heard that, he probably would have cussed me out.
We'll get a text here in a minute, bro.
Yep. Crazy, bro.
Go ahead, bro.
Oh no, like I didn't have, I had nothing else to say like after that, but yeah.
Man, I saw highlights of it, and I saw, the last possession. I'm sure that you've seen more of it than I have, but Rickea Jackson in Tennessee today playing in Missouri. For some odd reason, Missouri is a very tough place to play. And as always has been since before Sophie Cunningham was a part of that Missouri program back in 2019 and 2020. Did you see a lot of it, bro? Did you kind of take a look at it and see some highlights? I haven't seen much of it.
Yeah, no, I was just, following like the game cast or whatever. And I did see, like after the first quarter, like Tennessee was up by 11 and, got outscored, like the second quarter by 3, got outscored the second quarter by 2, and even got outscored the fourth quarter by 1. And, it was we go battle, to the end, like the tough team, like the toughest team, like is going to win, right? Mm-hmm. And, Tennessee had the ball. Last possession, I think it maybe like 10 seconds left. They throw the ball to Rickea like on a block. She like made a move and got fouled. And,
she's tough.
That just sealed the deal. Tennessee coming off of like they non-conference was kind of tough for them, but they've won the last 8.
They're undefeated in conference. They're undefeated in SEC play. Them, South Carolina, and LSU.
Yeah, so she been doing well. Like coming off the bench. She's back in the lineup now, but she was coming off the bench for quite some time. When she was like away for the team. But like she's been playing like with a chip on her shoulder, and she's been her go-to. So no, she been doing a thing though, man. 3 years at Mississippi State, 4th year at Tennessee. So She doing the thing, man. She balling. She
Oh yeah.
like bringing them, back to look to where they should be
Mhm.
looking.
I
Playing
love
at a
Tennessee. I
university
love
like in
Kelly Harper.
Tennessee. Um, it's a standard there, just like it's a standard at any other program that that has came through with some legendary coaches. So
Right.
somebody got to get the job done, and
Right.
that whole team been coming together and playing as one. So shout out to them. But
Speaking
also
of
shout out to Rickea. She's from Detroit. I've been knowing her since she's been like 13. So I watched her, grow, from, you know, middle school playing to college. So it's actually, like amazing to see. Like, dang, this girl was just 13. Now she what, like 22?
Look,
Crazy.
speaking of legendary coaches, UConn, Tennessee, Thursday at 8 p.m. The biggest rivalry in women's college basketball.
When is this game?
Thursday
Okay.
at 8 p.m. My 7 p.m., your 8 p.m. No. Yeah. My 7 p.m., your 8 p.m. I'm excited. I think Tennessee's come with a different energy this year. I just think Tennessee I think Tennessee is gonna make it hard for UConn to win that game. I think this is gonna be a game of UConn's offense versus Tennessee's defense. That's just my take from it. I haven't watched UConn much. I've watched Tennessee a lot, and I just know Kelly Harper always has good defensive teams, and so and that game means a little bit more to her because she's also a former Lady Volunteer, and so I know UConn is your team, bro. So I know you. By the way, your reaction, I don't even think you knew they played this Thursday, bro.
I knew that it was coming up with them in South Carolina, but I haven't, like been on ESPN, like, just checking, like the dates and stuff. But it should be a good game. You know what I'm saying? Both teams always come to play. I think I'm not sure if Paige Baker's played last year. I don't think she did play last year.
She was still hurt.
Right. So UConn was able to win it without her, but this year is like a lot different for UConn.
Yeah.
Izzy filled out. So
they're just dealing with a lot because Gino, this is probably his second, third game back coaching on the sideline.
Yeah.
He's been sick. And so but UConn is the standard of women's basketball. Modern day women's basketball, let me say that. And so they're gonna come with that type of energy that's gonna be ready to go, bro.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I gotta get my UConn Final Four shirt and hoodie ready to wear on Thursday, right?
I don't have any team gear. I don't know who I'm going for, bro. I'll let you know Wednesday night. After. But speaking of rivalry, bro, and then because we run out of time, I was watching the Baylor game just now. Baylor versus Texas. Texas obviously won. But Dee Richards was at the game. We all know Dee Richards. She played at Baylor under Coach Mulkey for 4 years. Naismith Defensive Player of the Year in 2020. National Championship in 2019 under Mulkey. She played 3 different positions for Baylor. She was there, and they had interviewed her and throughout the third quarter, and had her as a guest commentator along with Nikki Fargas and the other lady. I forget who else was commentating that game. And Nikki Fargas had asked, Texas and Baylor has always been, the significance of Baylor versus Texas. And she said these words, I kid you not. And that's how I know. It's how I know everything I've said in the past is validated. She was like, yeah, it's cool. Some around the lines of, yeah, it's cool now. However, it meant a little bit more when you had Kim Mulkey versus Karen Aston. And those coaches, because, they weren't too fond of each other, apparently. I love both coaches. I love Karen Aston at UTSA now. I've caught a few of their games. I love Kim Mulkey at LSU now. I love them. I love both of their styles of play. I love their recruiting tactics. I love it. I love their offense. I love their defense. I love their philosophies. She said the game held a little bit more weight when Kim Mulkey was on one sideline and Karen Aston was on the other sideline. And rather than Vic Schaefer and Nikki Collins. Talk to me about that. Talk to me how coaches can influence the rivalry of certain games and the vibe of certain games, bro.
Shoot. I mean, Kim Mulkey, she did a lot for that Baylor program, bringing in championships, Big 12 championships, bringing in some of the best recruits ever, has came through Baylor. But her not being like on the sideline no more. The rivalry is kind of, just not the same, and it's just not the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, if there was some, I want to say beef, but like Karen Ashton and Kim Mulkey, they both took those games personal. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm sure like that was like the talk of the town, because I remember when I first met you, like you always talked about, like those rivalries, like and going.
I was getting home for that
to those games. So
right.
Rivalries just hit different, especially when like the main coaches, aren't there anymore. That's like if I can't even think of a school where like that's rivals, but let's say
and Muffet McGraw,
right? Like Notre Dame and UConn is not really a rival, like anymore. But it probably is now that UConn lost this year, right?
Yeah.
But Gino and Muffet, man, I remember like the Final Four, like in 2019, they showed a video on the Jumbotron, and it was just like both teams going at it. People getting tripped, people getting smacked in the face.
I love it. Smash mouth basketball.
It just personal. You know what I'm saying? So it's just not like that no more. Like with certain teams and programs and levels. So maybe Kim Mulkey, she have a new rivalry. At LSU, but the Baylor versus Texas, like it ain't the same.
I want it to be Kim versus Don. I love both of them. I don't know who I'll go for. But yeah, bro. Hey, this is rivalry week. Big 12, SEC Challenge, Big 10, ACC Challenge. We got a lot of rivalries going on this week. This is the last week of January before conference starts over for a lot of these teams. Man, y'all tune in to these games. Tune in to these headlines on social media. We talked a lot of sports today. Hopefully, we gave you some insight on some things that are going on, and we are excited about what's to come this week and the following week. Trey, what you got for the people before we close it out?
Hey, honestly, do you have any shout outs, KJ? Like, you want to shout out like anybody?
My boy Avery. I'm going to shout out Avery. Because, man, that's my boy. He talked a lot of trash this week. But
yo, crazy.
But, yeah, man. Appreciate y'all for kicking it with us. And we will catch y'all next week.
For sure. All right.